An all-new Dr. Phil. They claim they're being terrorized by their pot-smoking.
Emma stole her grandfather's pain medication and sold it for drug money.
Car stealing.
Have you taken the car without permission?
I have before, yeah.
Violent.
Have you struck your grandfather in the face?
Yeah.
That's assault.
Teen daughters.
She's punching me in the face so hard that she broke her own hand.
Does this seem normal to y'all? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Thank you very much. Bill and Jen claim their life is a living hell because they live in terror of not one but two teenage daughters, 18-year-old Emma and her 16-year-old sister Meredith. Now, according to these frustrated parents, the reign of terror includes physical violence, explosive fights, drugs, joyriding, drinking, shoplifting. Well, the list just goes on and on. Jen says in the last 2 months alone, Emma's violent outbursts include spitting in Dad's face and punching her 65-year-old grandfather in the face, knocking his glasses off. Then just last week, she got in a vicious fight with her sister Meredith that resulted in injuries requiring emergency medical attention. Now, Bill says he feels that he cannot punish or parent the girls because they called the police on him with allegations of domestic abuse. Take a look.
My two teen daughters, Emma and Meredith, are out of control. They have made my life feel like a living hell. They smoke 3 or 4 times a day.
My wife and I have no control over our teenage daughters. They've brought terror to our doorstep. Emma and Meredith are both addicted to smoking weed. At her worst, Meredith is cruel, vicious, and deceptive. She has said things like, "We are horrible parents."
At her worst, Emma is an aggressive, manipulative, cornered animal. She starts calling me names like stupid and last summer, Emma stole her grandfather's pain medication and sold it for drug money. Emma was caught shoplifting over $500 in makeup. Emma takes the car without our permission 2 to 3 times a week.
My daughters can get very violent.
If this does not stop, it's going to destroy us.
Emma can get extremely aggressive. This past July, my dad and Emma had a huge argument. She got right up in my dad's face and punched him in the face. A couple of weeks ago, she picked up a bottle of cleaning fluid and tried to hit me with it.
First time Emma called the police on me was 2 years ago. She'd stolen $70 from one of her sisters, and I confronted her about it. So I nudged her with my elbow. She called the police on me. The police told me if she decided to press charges that they would have to arrest me. Now it feels like Emma has all the power.
If we try to discipline them, they just gang up on us and fight back.
I'm at a loss as to what to do. I told my wife that if things don't change, I'm going to be forced to leave.
I am terrified that one night they're not going to come home at all, and not only might they be dead, but they may kill someone else in the process.
Okay, now, guys, you're the adults here, you're the parents, but you feel like you're not in control, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And there are 4 children in the home, not 2, and you're concerned about the other 2, correct?
Yes.
That's correct, yes.
You have a daughter and a son, and they're observing all this. They're watching all this go on, right?
Yes.
Right.
How are they reacting to all this?
It's really hard on our 15-year-old daughter because she doesn't agree with any of their behavior. She's totally opposed to drug use, drinking, not following rules. She's really well behaved, and it breaks her heart to watch it. And then we have a 10-year-old son who's autistic. And so anytime voices are raised in the house because, they're screaming at us or we're, getting into a verbal altercation with them, he becomes really upset and covers his ears and says, please, no yelling, no yelling. Are you happy? Be happy.
You say you're about to bail on this if something doesn't change.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to a point where it's so toxic and I'm really pretty much powerless that I don't know what else to do, and it's
Well, why? How are you powerless?
the girls have kind of taken all the power or control. To be honest with you, it's
How so?
well, anytime.
Because they can call the police?
Well, yeah, exactly.
You got a phone.
Sure.
You call the police. Have they hit you?
Yes, I've been hit. Yeah.
So, but you could do the same thing, but this behavior, what's going to happen if this behavior continues?
I would like to have both girls move out. I mean, I don't want them to live at our house anymore because of the way they've been behaving. We're not going to do that because we're their parents and it's our job to take care of them. And I want the best for them. You know,
But that's not working, right?
No, it's not, and that's why.
Because I
we
made a
came
list
here.
of the things that you guys attribute. We'll start with Emma. You say that she's been in fights, twisted your wrist last year. She's reported you to the police twice for domestic abuse, then dropped the charges, which is what's making you say they're telling you they're going to have to arrest you if she calls and says you did something.
Yes, right.
Not because you're guilty, just because if it's reported, they have to arrest you, then have an investigation and all that.
Yes, that's right.
First time in fall of 2015, you say you nudged her in the arm with your elbow.
Yes, correct.
And then the second time in May 2016, you accidentally elbowed Meredith in the face after trying to stop Emma from driving with drugs.
Correct.
Okay, now, so you elbow her in the face. She says you give her a black eye.
Yes.
But now, the fact is, they're in your car without permission, under the influence, backing out of the driveway, and you're through the window trying to turn the car off to stop these girls.
Yes.
And so, in that melee, she gets bumped.
Yes.
That doesn't sound to me like wailing on your girls.
No, it definitely isn't. No.
I mean, come on.
We didn't even spank our kids because we don't believe in physical punishment.
June 2016, they call you a fat blank, a useless piece of blank, spit in your face, punch him 2 times, bend your glasses.
Yes.
So this is deteriorated to just really getting physical and base.
Yeah.
You give them permission to have a party, right?
Yes.
10 people, no drinking, no drugs, just
Right.
10 people can come over.
Right.
It turns into 35.
Yeah.
That is accurate. Yep.
Smoking dope, drinking, it's out of control, right?
Yes.
So that turns into a melee.
Yes.
June 16, Emma's caught shoplifting,
Right.
over $500,
Yes.
which is serious. What happened? Did you
Filled
let
her
her
bag.
suffer the consequences?
Oh, well, yeah. We let the police, ticket her. They didn't arrest her that time because they said it was her first offense. But then later the same week, we put her in rehab because we knew it was out of control at that point.
Okay, June that year, she stole and sold her grandfather's pain meds. She didn't steal them to take them. She stole them to sell them so she could buy
Right.
marijuana.
Yes.
Yes.
Was she prosecuted for that?
No.
She was not. No.
What'd you do?
At that point, I think we grounded her. We took away her phone, and is that pretty much it?
That's typically our go-to is to ground them for X period of time and take the telephone away.
How's that working for you?
Oh, not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
Let me guess, you have a hard time sticking with that.
Yeah, because they will, if they feel that our punishment is fair, they'll go along with it for a day, maybe 2 days, and then as soon as they feel like they've paid the price, then they're like, no, we're not staying here, we're leaving, we're out of here.
Yep.
And they'll just leave. And we're scared, of course, to physically stop them from leaving. And honestly, once a teenager realizes that you don't really have any power over them, it's a free-for-all.
Man, they grew up in a different house than I did. Would you say she's addicted?
She's definitely addicted.
They decided to smoke a blunt. I'm not allowed to call it marijuana.
You're not allowed. and later.
I can't arrest her.
Now that's just crap.
I can't.
Seriously, you can't call the cops and say, my daughter just attacked my father? She steals your father's pain medication, so he's without pain medication, sells it to get drugs.
Yeah.
And so they sit back and decide whether the punishment's okay or not. If it's okay, they'll tolerate it for a day or two, and then
Yeah.
enough's enough.
Yeah.
Okay, a year later is when she punches Grandpa in the face,
Yes.
knocks his glasses off and all.
Yes.
So obviously she learned to respect him
Absolutely.
over that deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Took the car at least 10 times without permission,
Yes.
correct? Steals money to, again, buy marijuana.
Yep.
Would you say she's addicted to the drug, can't function without it?
I would say yes. She's definitely addicted. She's said as much. Not that she's addicted, but that she needs that to function on a normal level.
How do you feel about that?
It's heartbreaking. She has anxiety and depression and bipolar disorder, and
How do you know that?
psychiatrist.
Been diagnosed with that.
I mean,
And
we've
did
been.
they prescribe marijuana for that?
No, she asked them to, but they did not.
So you listen to the diagnosis, but not the treatment.
Oh no, and we give her the medication that's recommended for it, but she feels that that's not nearly as effective as marijuana, so that is her choice of self-medicating.
Well, here's what she says about that with regard to marijuana. This is a quote from her. Quote, I don't know how to say this without saying I need weed, but my mood is only as good as it is when I'm like this, and I'm only social and interactive, and I only work this hard on things when I have weed as part of my day-to-day life. It's a medication to me. It improves my quality of life. It helps me live the way I'm supposed to. But when I only use it once in a while, I do not get the same effect. Think of weed as one of my regular medications.
Yes.
And you all said,
We all said it's
Okay.
unacceptable. No, I mean, we're not okay with it at all. We have been trying for years now to get her to stop using, and now Meredith to stop using. We're completely against it. I mean, if it was every once in a while, like, you know, a couple times a year at a party, they decided to smoke a blunt, I wouldn't. All right. All right, I have to call it that or they mock me. So I'm not allowed to like call it marijuana or pot. So
you're not allowed.
no, oh, I mean I'm allowed, but I'll be.
No, you said it.
All right,
You said it.
Okay. So they.
You notice there's a pattern here that we got the tail wagging the dog, right? We've got the
Absolutely.
children running the house.
Yes.
Right.
Instead of the parents, because you're afraid of prosecution. And I get that's a real threat.
Sure.
And they're just bullying you. And you're afraid of the impact that the 18-year-old Emma is having over the 16-year-old Meredith, right? Because she's influencing Meredith. She's a role model for her.
Right.
You know, there's a 9 p.m. curfew for Meredith. She breaks it. She's addicted to smoking marijuana, and she has taken acid. At 14, Meredith entered an outpatient treatment for anxiety and drug addiction herself. July 17, she backed into a stranger's car.
Emma was driving.
She's with Emma. I mean,
Yes.
they're out doing
Yes.
drugs.
Uh-huh.
They're at a gas station. They back into someone else's car.
Yes. Right.
$1,500 worth of damage. They were told to go home because they were on the way to a party.
They're on the way to the beach, but yes.
Yep, they were told to go home.
Right.
Did they?
Oh no.
They just went on.
They said their friends were depending on them, so they
Right.
had to go downtown.
And at the time, she told others to hide all the drugs and alcohol in another teen's shorts to avoid police detection.
Yes.
In August 2017 is when they fought each other at a gas station. Emma bit Meredith in the leg and broke her own hand after punching her sister in the face. Both of them required treatment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Emma's got a cast on her hand.
Yep.
Meredith had a chunk bitten out of her leg. This is the two girls fighting each other, not you two, but fighting each other.
Yeah.
Right.
So this isn't working at any level in any relationship.
No.
No, it's a bit of a disaster.
Well, this morning, Emma decided she did not want to appear on the show. We're going to find out why when we come back.
My parents are over-dramatizing how my sister and I both behave. I don't think I'm a drug addict. My mom is a manipulative dictator. My dad is angry, controlling, and vindictive.
And later, you and your sister had a
Through the first punch, she pulls out this knitting needle and threatened to stab me with it. I did only hit her once, though.
My daughters are both addicted to smoking marijuana. Emma is out smoking weed and driving all the time.
Emma says she isn't addicted, but she's in denial.
I try not to give Emma money unless I know where she's going. But she and Meredith manipulate us and say that they need money for gas, and then they end up using it for weed.
Well, Bill and his wife, Jen, say they're living in terror of their two teenage daughters. We're talking about 18-year-old Emma and 16-year-old Meredith. They claim that both daughters are really partners in crime when it comes to lying, fighting, doing drugs, stealing their car. But Emma says when the police have been called out for domestic violence, the suspect is never her. It's always her father. Take a look.
I'm not out of control. My parents are over-dramatizing how my sister and I both behave. I do smoke weed every day, but I don't consider it a drug. I don't think I'm a drug addict. If I wanted to stop, I could, but I don't because I enjoy it. My relationship with my parents is very rocky. My mom is a manipulative dictator. My mom says horrible things to me, like I'm a failure. It bothers us a lot because you say that you don't care.
Well,
Like you've actually said the words to us, like I no longer care about you guys.
No, I have said I no longer care, but I mean about this situation.
It's just painful. My dad is angry, controlling, and vindictive. Last summer, my parents allowed me to have a party at my house. My dad saw someone smoking weed and went crazy. He was throwing things around. I put myself in front of him to block him from going outside, and he shoved me. I fell to the ground in front of everybody. I was very angry and embarrassed. My parents' rules are unreasonable. They expect me to be home every night by 8 p.m. and in bed by 9 p.m. I'm 18 years old. Last year, I got caught shoplifting from a makeup store. The police were called and I was arrested. They dropped the case because I went to drug rehab. I completed the rehab successfully, which I think proves that I'm not an addict. If my parents' behaviors don't improve, I feel that our relationships might be damaged past the point of return.
Okay, how do you feel about being here?
A little apprehensive, I guess. This isn't really where I want to be, but I mean, I'm here for a reason.
What's your reason?
My parents think that I'm out of control.
Are you?
Personally, I don't think so. I feel like I'm a really good kid, and most of the rules that they set, I feel like I follow. I think their idea of being out of control is smoking too much and just being out all day.
Well, let me tell you straight up, this is not all you, I can tell you that. There's two sides to this, and they got a lot of ownership in this, and you got a lot of ownership in this. Do you think that a teenager, a child, a teenager, whatever, should respect and obey their parents, particularly if they're going to live in their house?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you think they should show them respect?
Yes.
Have you done some of the things they say that you've done? Because they say you've stolen a car. They say you've taken it like 10 times without permission.
I wouldn't necessarily say that many times. I think it was maybe a handful of times. that
Okay,
I took it
5.
without
Have you
permission.
taken the car without permission?
I have before,
What
yeah.
gives you the right to do that?
Nothing.
But yet you've done it.
Right.
Have you punched your grandfather in the face?
I slapped him. It was an open hand hit, but it was,
Have you struck your grandfather in the face?
yeah.
That's assault. What gives you the right to do that?
Nothing gives me the right to do it. I just feel like he knows what buttons to push with me, and he's definitely an instigator, I feel like, and...
But why are you not in jail? If you assaulted him, they could have put you in jail. Because you say she's a horrible dictator. If she's so horrible, they could have had you arrested, charged, and put in jail. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the statute of limitations has not run on that yet. So they still could, actually. I'm just saying. Go get hit by a blanking car. You're a horrible mother. Why do you take the car when you don't have permission? Why do you hit your grandfather in the face?
I don't do these things for no reason.
And later,
As of this morning, she was completely not willing to come on the show at all.
6:36 a.m. this morning, I'm going to offer to get her a little tattoo that she wants in exchange for participating.
Yes.
What's funny about this to you? Closed captioning provided by... I was curious about an exchange the two of you had in a text message. This is between Jen and Emma concerning schoolwork. Jen, you were already told you couldn't go out tonight. You did not get your 2 hours of schoolwork done. Emma, you go blank yourself, you stupid blank. How about that? Jen, are you blanking kidding me right now? Emma, nope, stupid bitch. Can't even get a real job, looking ass bitch. Jen, are you out of your blanking mind? Emma, go get hit by a blanking car. You're a horrible mother. I absolutely despise you. Put that in context for me.
Okay. I don't know. I don't remember the context of this conversation. And I don't think that it was just her saying, like, you can't go out, like, this is what you did.
Well, no, this is verbatim. And I'll ask you the same thing. You say, are you blanking kidding me? What?
Do you want me to tell you why I'm swearing?
I want somebody to tell me I'm not in the twilight zone. Why are you talking to your mother this way?
I put in the respect that I get, and I feel like my mom, I guess when she wants to get, I don't know, control over the situation, she will say and do pretty much anything, not really regarding anyone's feelings or anything like that. So
who should control the situation?
My mother.
Well, I mean, she's the parent. Somebody has to be accountable. Somebody has to be responsible.
Right.
We don't parent by committee. Somebody has to be in charge, and that's generally the parent.
We actually kind of do parent by committee, which might be why we're here.
Emma also says, she says, it feels like they, Bill and Jen, don't love me. Actions speak louder than words, and their actions show me they don't love me. I feel they're setting me up and making everything super dramatic. My mom says horrible things like I'm a failure, that she's disappointed to have me as a daughter. Mom tells me she doesn't love me. When she says she doesn't love me, it traumatizes me.
I've never said I don't love you. I don't always like you, but I always love you.
You said the words, I'm no longer going to let myself care about you or love you.
No, not love you. I mean, I have definitely said I'm not going to let myself care, and that's in relation to the situation, but I have never not loved you. I mean, this may be your perception of it, but I have always loved you.
She says that you have big mood swings, that when something goes wrong, that you become physically and mentally abusive, that you say horrible things, that you call her a failure, that you tell her that she is a disappointment, that you do not love her, and other horrible things, and that your relationship has completely deteriorated, and that her father is very aggressive and that she has been scared for her safety, that he attacked her at a summer party, and she says she is sick of all of the disagreements and all she wants is family stability, and that her parents need help.
Well, there's one part we agree on, that we all want some family stability, that's for sure.
I've never been physically abusive. I have probably said some things that were unkind in frustration. I feel like, well, I know that you think they're unkind. I mean,
They are.
all right, and I admit that I have. I have no excuses for that. I do it because I'm frustrated and I'm exhausted, and it feels like this situation's never going to improve, and we've been dealing with it for, I don't know,
Those
6
sound
years.
like excuses, though.
Well, what's your explanation? If those are excuses, how do you explain your behavior?
I don't have an excuse for my behavior, and I'm not going to try and make one.
Why do you do it? Why do you say the
what?
things to your mother like you said in that text message? Why do you take the car when you don't have permission? Why do you hit your grandfather in the face?
I don't do these things for no reason.
That's what I'm asking. What's your reason?
I mean, it's almost always, arguments with my mother instigated by her. The thing with my grandfather is very out of context, and all I can say is he was egging me on, calling me names, just being a really disrespectful person. And he goes, okay, then hit me in the face. And I hit him in the face.
This was a year after you stole his drugs and sold them?
Correct.
We have a statement from the grandfather. He says, quote, "I feel like I'm living a nightmare. Emma was this wonderful, precocious child with whom I had a delightful relationship. Her life was filled with promise, and she excelled in everything she did until this drug addiction got hold of her and changed her completely. I am baffled and heartbroken that Emma stole money and pills from me in order to support her drug habit. She went from being my best buddy to someone who stole from me and said the most hurtful things to me and even hit me hard enough during an argument that she left a mark and knocked off my glasses."
Yeah, I mean...
Sounds like a big fan of yours.
He is, but I can't really say the same. And it's very hard for me to get along with him.
Well, I may have some suggestions for you that can help a lot
Okay.
in this. We have to take a break. Bill says his 2 teenage daughters are an inseparable force who feed off each other and bring chaos and terror to the home. Well, we're going to add his 16-year-old daughter, Meredith, to the conversation after the break.
My dad can be terrifying, and my mom can be scary. When I was younger, my parents taught me that marijuana was the least harmful drug. That's why I started smoking it.
Closed captioning provided by...
Last week, my sister and I had a big fight. I took something of hers, and she started grabbing my things, started grabbing me. Things escalated to the point where we got into a fist fight.
She bit me on the calf. This is where my sister bit me, and actually ended up punching me in the face so hard that she broke her own hand. I was actually really worried she was going to try to kill me in my sleep.
Well, Bill and Jen say their 2 teenage daughters, Emma and Meredith, are out of control. They claim their lying, stealing, drug abuse, and physical attacks reached a boiling point last week, which culminated in a street fight in which Emma bit her sister and punched her in the face, breaking her own hand in the process. 16-year-old Meredith said she feared afterwards that Emma would actually kill her in her sleep.
My dad can be terrifying, and my mom can be mean and scary. My parents think I'm out of control, but the truth is I'm not. I don't think I'm a drug addict because I know I can live without marijuana. When I was younger, my parents taught me that marijuana was the least harmful drug. They told me that if I were to try any drug, it should be marijuana. That's why I started smoking it. Now, years later, they decide they want to be more strict. My mom yells at me a lot for smoking weed. When she's angry at me, she has told me that I'm going nowhere in my life, My dad gets really scary and loud. Once my dad elbowed me in the face and gave me a black eye. Emma and I were leaving the house in the car. He comes outside and immediately starts screaming, "Stop moving the car."
It backed out and the car ran over my foot.
So he got really angry and threw himself into the car.
In his rage, he somehow elbowed Meredith in the face and gave her a black eye.
I accidentally elbowed Meredith in the face.
My biggest fear is that my parents are gonna kick Emma out and eventually I'm gonna follow right behind her.
Okay, Meredith, I'm glad you're here.
Hi.
So you and your sister had a fight,
Yeah.
a brawl. What started it?
We were in the car and I had just sold an old pipe of mine for some weed. And Emma took it from me and I reached for it and she bit me on my wrist and started slapping me and then stole my phone from me and basically told me, if you want your phone back, you have to fight me for it.
Did you tell her you're going to have to fight me for this phone?
I don't know that those are the exact words I used. I also,
I bet they're not.
May have been a bit more colorful.
The fight ensued actually because, I mean, she didn't just reach for her things. She was grabbing me. She was pulling my bag off my neck, and I actually had a huge, burn mark on it because of the rope being pulled. She just had her hands all over me, and she wouldn't let go. So we got, all of that happened, and then when we got out of the car, I was talking to my boyfriend on the phone saying, hey, dude, I need your help. What's going on right now? And she was just getting in my face, give me my phone back, come on. And I was like, dude, if you want your phone back, fight me for it. I did say that. And she threw the first punch. She grabbed me by my hair and threw me. And
does this seem normal to y'all? I mean, look, this is your cast, right?
Yeah.
And it's broken over here, so you have it all. These two fingers have to be immobilized, right?
Yeah. I feel like everything I did in that instance was in self-defense.
It was after you challenged her to a fight, everything was in self-defense.
She definitely, she had me she had me on the ground and was just kind of repeatedly kicking me and punching me in the head and in the stomach. So, I mean, she definitely had the upper hand. So that's when I bit her leg to get her down, and then I punched her.
I want you guys to bear in mind that the last we got in a fight, it was because I took a lighter from her, and she actually came upstairs while my younger sister was there. She starts slapping and punching me in the face, and I literally just put my hands down by my sides and let her hit me as much as she wanted to. And then after I let her hit me, she pulls out this little knitting needle and threatened to stab me with it.
I did only hit her once, though. It wasn't a repeated, bashing. I did only hit her once.
Okay, have you done anything wrong?
Oh, yeah. I want the story to be clear.
What's funny about this to you?
It's just so outrageous. I don't even know what else to do.
Guys, come on, I'm trying to help you here.
We're not closed-minded to hearing any ideas. Obviously, we
Not
don't know
closed-minded? I'm not trying to sell you something. You called me. You love your sister, but you say you're also afraid of her.
I'm terrified of her.
Why do you think she could completely lose it?
Absolutely.
What about her makes you think that she could lose it?
You approach her not knowing who you're about to be talking to. Over emotional Emma, angry Emma, violent Emma, crying, sad Emma, panic attack Emma. You don't know who you're talking to. She has 5 to 10 different personalities that she puts on, and it's scary. You say one thing to set her off, and she's done for, threatening to hit you. She's told my dad that she's told me that I should kill myself. She's told my dad that she hopes he dies in his sleep. She tells my mom that she doesn't have a real job, that she can't
provide for our family, even though that's what she's doing every single day.
So where's all this headed? I mean, what do y'all think is going to happen here if this just continues on? Do you think they're supposed to just continue to feed you and clothe you and house you and lean back and let you do whatever it is you want to do? Is this supposed to just continue on like it is? And if it does, where do you think it's going to wind up?
I don't want things to continue how they are. I think that our family relationships are really damaged, and I don't want that to be the case.
Do you have a drug problem?
I think some would say that I do, but I don't consider marijuana a drug, so I don't really know if I would call it a drug problem.
What would you call, if it's not a drug, what is it?
I think I am using it excessively.
But if it's not a drug, what is marijuana?
I mean, it's medicine.
It's medicine.
Yeah.
Well, opioids are medicine. They're drugs, the pain pills.
But you can't get addicted. You can get addicted to those. You really can't get addicted to marijuana.
And,
It's really funny, apparently.
and you went to rehab, right?
Yeah.
And your diagnosis was severe dependency.
I don't know what my diagnosis was.
Well, I have it. It was a severe dependency.
Okay.
And it said you finished the program, but you didn't really try. You just kind of went through the motions.
That's absolutely false. When I was in the
It
program.
may be false, but that's what it says.
When I was in the program, I was dedicating my life to being sober. I was sober for over a month after I got out. I definitely feel like there was a success in the program.
Okay, look, next, what Jen promised Emma in order to get her to come to the show, I think it's real telling about what's going on here. We're going to talk about the parenting tactics and how I think we got where we are when we come back. These girls have got one tool, and that's emotional extortion. Then you go, oh, well, okay, then here's your phone, here's your social media, here's the car, here's some money. I'll get you a tattoo.
Again with the mockery, everybody's laughing.
Oh, come on. Don't get self-righteous on me, my friend. Closed captioning. Well, we're out of time for today, but you will definitely want to tune in tomorrow because there is so much more to cover. We'll find out why Bill says he drove recklessly and tailgated a police car at high speed, and he did it on purpose. Plus, how did Emma and Meredith react backstage to what I proposed to their family? Take a look. If you have a troubled teen and need help, log on to drphil.com. There's a lot of information on there, and you can send me a message on the message boards. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time.